Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Nashtapayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text number 9 onwards. So we'll try to do from 9 to 16 today. So text number 9. Yagyarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So in the previous verses, Krishna told Arjun that you have to perform your duty. You have to perform your prescribed duty. And before that, Krishna said nobody can live without anything. Soul is always active. Nobody can live without doing anything, even for a moment. Now there is more about what kind of karma, what kind of action or duty one has to do. So Krishna is saying now, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So now, what kind of work one has to do? Krishna says, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, the work will be the result of bondage. Same work can liberate us, and same work can bind us. So Prabhupada, wonderful purport is writing, but I'll not go through the whole thing. Prabhupada's second paragraph is writing, therefore one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world will be a cause of bondage, for both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reaction binds the performer. Many times people say, oh, we don't want to stand the holy name and go to the temple. Just do good work, don't hurt anybody, be a good person, and that is good enough. That is our motto of life. But Prabhupada is clearly saying here, any work, be it good or evil, it will have material reactions and it will bind us to the material world. So good work will have good reaction, and to take the good reaction, we have to take birth again. So means, again, we have to go through cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. Therefore, one has to work in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Krishna. And while performing such activities, one is in a liberated stage. This is a great art of doing work, and in the beginning, the process requires very expert guidance. So, one works to satisfy Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna, only under the guidance of a devotee of Krishna. This practice will not only save one from the reaction of work, but also gradually elevate one to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God. So this practice means one practice of working for Krishna. It not only saves us from the reaction of work, means we'll not need any material reaction, but slowly it can transform or translate into transcendental loving service of the Lord. So slowly we come to the level of loving service of the Lord, not as a matter of duty, but out of love, we'll do that. Krishna further says, Sahayagya prajaha srishtva purovanch prajapatihi anena prasvishyadhvam eshavo astrishtakam dhuk. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this yagya, sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. So in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent for generations of men and demigods. Means it is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita and said by Krishna himself. The Supreme Lord himself is saying all the species of life were there from the beginning of creation. So Darwin's theory is completely wrong, which says men came from monkeys or whatever theories he has given. So since the beginning of creation, men, demigods, all the species, everybody has been in the universe. So that's why our religion, not our process of following what we follow is called Sanatan Dharma. It's Sanatan. Sanatan means eternal. Eternal means no beginning, no end actually. So from the very beginning of creation, this dharma has been there in practice. The knowledge has been given from the very beginning of creation. Of course, now Sanatan Dharma, people have made up their own way of living. They call it this is Sanatan Dharma, that is Sanatan Dharma. But actually not. Sanatan Dharma means a person understands what's his real role is, what's the real goal of life is, and how to achieve that goal of life. And what is Krishna saying? From beginning of creation, he sent for generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu. So sacrifice for Vishnu has been there from very beginning, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation." So the sacrifice is there from the very beginning, from the start of creation. Sacrifice is a means of one living happily in this world and achieving liberation afterwards. So Prabhupada writes towards the second paragraph, the Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yajna, sacrifices, for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world they can live very comfortably without anxiety, and after finishing the present material body they can enter into the kingdom of God. That is a whole program for the conditioned soul. So this is all. Conditioned soul, Krishna knows, people who are here in the material world, they all are conditioned, they all are bound up, they all have fallen. So he has given them a chance, an idea, a path, how to get out of here. So he says, do yajna. When we do yajna, we live happily in the material world, and then we get a chance, after we leave the body, we get a chance to go back home, back to Godhead also. So this is the whole idea. And that's why, since we are bound eternally, we are here in this material world eternally from the beginning. So the process of getting out of here must have been also given from the beginning. It's not like we are here since times immemorial and the process of getting out is given only, say, 1500 years ago or 1300 years ago or 60 years ago. It cannot be like that. So that means those people, what they follow, they say, so before us, nobody knew how to please the Lord, how to become a devotee of the Lord, how to become a follower of the Lord, or how to get out of here. Before us, nobody knew, only we know. So you know who am I referring to? So all these so-called religions, which have started in Kali Yuga, so they all profess this thing. Oh, my religion is the best one. My path is the best path. My way of living is the best way of living. You should convert. You should follow me. You should do that. No. If the soul is eternal, his conditioning is eternal, so the path of liberation is also eternal. It cannot be that now only God thought of giving the path. In Kali Yuga, different paths are there, because people are lazy, misguided, they don't have faith, somehow they've lost the faith, somehow the leaders who were preaching the Sanatan Dharma, they were not proper, they were not right, so people didn't get the right message. It's a different story. But again, the one thing we have to understand that we are spirit soul, soul is eternal, so the process of getting out of here, process of getting liberation must also be eternal. It must also be given from the time we got inside the material world. So this whole program is, while we are in the material world, live here comfortably and finally get out of here. Only thing is, this sacrifice, the process of sacrifice is different for different ages. Then Prabhupada saying, in the age of Kali, the Sankirtan Yagya, the chanting of the holy names of God, is recommended by the Vedic scriptures. So this is the sacrifice given for people in Kali Yuga. Because we cannot perform big austerities like people do in Satyuga. We cannot perform big yagyas like people in Treta Yuga used to do. We cannot perform elaborate deity worship like people in Dwapar Yuga used to do. So Kali Yuga we are given this process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Devan bhavitanena te deva bhavayantu va parasparam bhavayantah shreya paramavapsita. The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you. And thus, by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. So now Krishna is bringing the topics of demigods. Who are demigods? Demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water, and all of the benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the demigods, different Devi Devtas, they're empowered administrators of material affairs. So they are given different departments that they are empowered to look after, and they are empowered to give that benedictions or the benefits from that department to a person who pleases them. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of the yagyas by the human being. Some of the yagyas are meant to satisfy particular demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yagyas as a chief beneficiary. So chief beneficiary in all yagya, even if that yagya is done for the pleasure of a particular demigod, chief beneficiary is Krishna or Vishnu himself. So if we just please Krishna or Vishnu, that means we're going to please all the demigods at the same time. And Prabhupada writes very wonderful line towards the end of the purport. By performance of yagya, one's eatables become sanctified, and by eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified, and when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all this combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present day society. So how it works, how we get purified by yagya, by performance of yagya, one's eatables become sanctified. So when we do yagya, when we offer it, yagya means to offer it back to the Supreme Lord. So when we offer it back, our eatables becomes pure. When our eatables, what we eating, the pure stuff, then our existence or consciousness becomes purified. The purification of existence or purification of consciousness of body, finer tissues in the memory becomes pure. And when memory is pure, one can think of path of liberation, and all this combined, one can become Krishna conscious, one can think of pleasing Krishna all the time. Or one can chant the holy names all the time. One can think of Krishna, one can satisfy Krishna all the time. So this is the process, how it works. Then Krishna further says, Ishtan bhogan ihivo deva dasyante yagya bhavita tair dattan pradayabhyo yo bhungte stenaiva saha. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied with the performance of yajna, will supply all necessities to you. He who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So again, demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. So they are supplying agent. They say they supply air, water, sunlight, and in fact, it is said that every part of our body is controlled by one demigod or the other. And not just a body, of the whole material universe. Every part is controlled by one demigod or the other. That's why we have 33 crore demigods. 33 crore Devi Devta. India is a small country, it's not a huge country, and it has so many departments: electricity department, water department, this department, sewage department, whatever, forestry department. There's so many departments and so many people are there, administrators there to take care of those departments. If in India, which is a small country, we need so many departments and so many administrators to take care of those departments, what to speak of the whole universe, which is so huge and so many departments are there. Don't you think we need so many people who are in charge of one department or the 30 crore dollars? It is crore. Many times on WhatsApp, I have seen this message floating around. Oh, Tetis Koti, it is said. Tetis Koti means 33 kinds of gods. It's not Tetis Crore. We are mixing it up. We are taking it wrongly. No, it's all nonsense. 33 crore means 33 crore. That's it. Because there are so many departments and every demigod is responsible for one department or the other. Krishna writes, Prabhupada writes, one should know that all the necessities of life that the human society requires are supplied by the demigod agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Take, for example, all the eatables of human society. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, sugar, etc. for the persons in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians like meat, none of which can be manufactured by men. So no such thing can be manufactured by men in the factory. Again, take for example heat, light, water, air, etc., which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by the human society. Nothing. We can only transform some things. Some material energy we can take and we can transform into something else. But we cannot start from scratch that we can produce anything that we like. Not going to happen. Without the sun, there can be profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, breeze, etc., without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metals, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agents of the Lord with the purpose that we should make use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for what? For the purpose of self-realization, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from the material struggle for existence. So the whole idea behind all the demigods supplying, or ultimately Krishna is giving, and through the demigod, supplying all different necessities of life for us. Just like so many fruits are there, like this is Summer season, so mangoes are there, watermelons are there, so many other fruits are there. Who supplies them? We don't manufacture mangoes in the factories. We don't manufacture potatoes in the factories. We don't. We can take the potatoes that we can manufacture. We can take mango pulp, make some mango shake or mango juice or whatever. That we can produce, but we cannot produce mangoes in the factory. For that mangoes, we have to rely on Krishna and Krishna's energy. So this is what Prabhupada is writing. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Without that, we cannot do anything. Like other day, Radha and myself, we stopped by to drink some sugarcane juice. It's hot season, plenty of sugarcane juice. And when we're drinking, we're thinking, see, Krishna's creation is so wonderful. In this sugarcane, this stick, he has put so much of sweetness. And without sugar, can we imagine our life? Every day we need sugar in some part or other. Of course, we try to say, oh, I'm getting fat, I should cut down on my sugar intake, this and that. But still, we cannot avoid taking sugar. Everywhere we need sugar. And where did Krishna keep the sugar in? In the form of these canes, sugar canes. It's amazing. In these sticks, he has kept the sugar in. Now you go, try to figure out how to take it out, and then you use it, you enjoy it. Of course, Krishna also enjoys. We eat so much of sugar preparations every day. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agents of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves. So thieves, here in the words also this came, yo bhunkte stena evsa. We are just like, if we don't offer them back to the demigods in return while using the gifts. So that is the reason on birthdays we have this policy or tradition of return gift. So we get the gift for our kids and then we return something, give something in the back. So that's what Krishna is saying. If you don't do that, we are certainly a thief. Not in the birthday party, but in the life. So we use so many things like light, air, water, edibles, so many things used for day-to-day lives. So we have to just return it back. So we have to return back. Otherwise, we are thieves. A society of propagating, and therefore we are punished by the laws of material nature. A thief is to be punished. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. Or maybe the only aim is eat, drink, and be merry, or try to control over the rest of the material energy. Not going to happen. That's why we get punished. That's why we have so many problems in our lives, because we try to become thieves. Krishna further says, Yagya shishta shina santo muchyante sarvil visha bhumte te tvagam papa ye pachantyatma karanat. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. Ye pachantyatma karanat. So Prabhupada is writing that a devotee cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. So whatever he eats or whatever he does, he first offers it to the Lord and then he accepts it. That's a devotee, because he understands everything comes from Krishna. Everything is originally property of Krishna. And everything is meant for Krishna's pleasure. That's what actually what I say, this is the meaning of Gita. Gita means gratitude is an attitude. When we have that attitude, then we have understood Bhagavad Gita, then we are trying to become devotees of Krishna. Means gratitude. We are grateful to Krishna for providing us with everything that we have. Actually, that should be our prayers every morning. And every evening we should go to the bed praying to Krishna, thanks for providing me for everything, and we should reflect upon the whole day, that what we did, make a balance of what we did, good and bad, and we beg for forgiveness for the bad things, and we make a firm resolution that we'll not commit the same mistake again. If the same situation comes, I'll try to be more gentler, more humane next time, more like a devotee. So if this gratitude is how we start our day with, then our day will be perfect. So that gratitude has to be there, that everything that I have in my life is actually coming from Krishna. And actually it is. It's not coming from anyone else. Prabhupada further writes, others who prepare food for self or sense gratification are not only thieves, but also the eaters of all kinds of sin. How can a person be happy if he is both a thief and sinful? So that's why there's so many problems in the material world. That's why we have so many people who are under depression, stress, anxiety, fear, everything. I lost everybody. Can everybody hear? Hello? Haribol?
I can hear you.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Somehow I cannot see anybody.
I think Mataji's picture was being.
What happened?
Mataji has shared her picture of screen.
I can only see Akanksha on my screen.
Yeah, we are also only seeing that because I think.
Okay, whatever she has done, it's great. As long as you can hear me, it's okay. So text number. Anadam bhutani parjanyadan sambhava yagyat bhavati parjanyo yagya karma samudbhava. Now I can see everybody. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. So yajna is born of prescribed duties. We'll see further on what exactly it is. So here Krishna is saying, rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice. Rains are not produced because of trees. Scientists believe if we plant more trees, more rains will come. But this is not actually true. Rains are produced by performance of yajna. And when we do sacrifice, when we please, yajna means to please Krishna. And when we please Krishna, he can send forth lots of rains. And because of rains, we get the grains, and because of grains, we can maintain our bodies. So Prabhupada is writing, when Lord Krishna is worshipped, the demigods, who are different limbs of the Lord, are also automatically worshipped. Therefore, there is no separate need to worship the demigods. For this reason, the devotees of the Lord, who are in Krishna consciousness, offer food to Krishna and then eat. A process which nourishes the body spiritually. By such action only are past sinful reactions in the body vanquished, but the body, not only past sinful reactions of the body vanquished, but the body becomes immunized to all contamination of material nature. So this is what happens when we offer food first to Krishna and then eat. So two things happen. Our past sinful reactions in the body are vanquished, means past karmas are taken care of, and the body becomes immunized to all contamination of material nature. Means body becomes completely immunized. We will not get affected by the onslaughts of Maya if we eat only prasadam. So very, very important aspect for us to get to take to this practice of eating only prasadam, only the food that is offered to Krishna first. And then Prabhupada later on writes, we the field and not on the production of big factories. The field production is due to sufficient rain from the sky, and such rains are Indra, sun, moon, etc. And they are all servants of the Lord. And the Lord can be satisfied by sacrifice. So the more sacrifice we do, more Lord is satisfied, more demigods who are representatives of the Lord, they supply forth rain, air, sun, whatever they are in charge of. They can supply whatever we want. So that's the whole process of how to make the Lord happy and how to keep the demigods happy. Text 15. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshar samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagye pratishthitam. Regulated activities or karma that we saw previously, that yagya karma samudbhava. Yagya is born of karma. What is the karma? Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the acts of sacrifice. So what are these karma that I spoke of? Karma means the activities that are prescribed in the Vedas for particular varna and particular ashram. Prabhupada writes, if we have to work for the satisfaction of Yajna Purusha Vishnu, then we must find out the direction of work in Brahman or the transcendental Vedas. The Vedas are therefore codes of working directions. Anything performed without the direction of the Vedas is called vikarma or unauthorized or sinful work. So if we are not doing karma, karma means the activities prescribed in the Vedas, then we are doing vikarma or unauthorized or sinful work. So for that we have to suffer only. Therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be saved from the reaction of work. And Prabhupada further writes, the conditioned souls in material nature are all eager for material enjoyment. But the Vedic directions are so made that one can satisfy one's perverted desires, then return to Godhead, having finished his so-called enjoyment. So that's why Vedic injunctions are very important for us to follow, because they're so made that one can satisfy the desires here. And Prabhupada writes one's perverted desire. Perverted desire means any desire which is not connected with satisfying Krishna. And then at the same time, if he keep on following the Vedic directions, he will start engaging in serving Krishna. And slowly, he'll do all the yagyas necessary to satisfy Krishna. And then, Prabhupada says, then return to Godhead, having finished his so-called enjoyment in this material world. So that's why the injunctions of Vedas are very important. But Prabhupada further writes, even those who have not followed the Vedic injunctions may adopt the principles of Krishna consciousness, and that will take the place of performance of Vedic yagyas or karmas. Last line he always gives of Krishna consciousness. So even if somebody doesn't follow the Vedic injunctions, just follow the path of Krishna consciousness. Just follow, especially follow the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Follow or perform this Sankirtan Yagya, they'll take care of everything. All the Karma Kande, all the Vedic rituals, Sankirtan Yagya can take care of everything. And more than that. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartiyati yaha aghayorindrayaramo mogham partha sajivati. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. For those who want to enjoy this material world, the above mentioned cycle of performance of yajna is absolutely necessary. One who does not follow such regulations is living a very risky life, being condemned more and more. So this is the idea of human life. One has to follow the Vedic injunctions and live a regulated life. Otherwise, he lives in vain and his life is very condemned. And this is what Krishna says in the shloka. The yajna system is planned in such a way that sensory conscious persons may satisfy their desires without being entangled in the reaction of sense gratificatory work. But later on, towards the end, Prabhupada says, the yajnas are directly aimed at the particular demigods mentioned in the Vedas. Indirectly, it is a practice of Krishna consciousness because when one masters the performance of yajna, one is sure to become Krishna conscious. So this is the ultimate aim of performing any yajna. But if by performing yajnas, one does not become Krishna conscious, such principles are counted as only moral codes. One should not therefore limit his progress only to the point of moral codes, but should transcend them to attain Krishna consciousness. So this is the whole idea behind different yajnas, different activities prescribed in the Vedas. So there's a one wonderful pastime that happened when Krishna was performing his leelas with all the cowherd boys. So actually, that is the day when Krishna did this. I believe he did this Chirharan. He stole the clothes of the young gopis, and after that he was very hungry, and he came to Mathura with his boyfriends, and he sent some of his boyfriends to the house of this Brahmins, and they were doing yajna. And he sent the message that, oh, Krishna Balram are here, they're very hungry. You all are doing yajna, you must have made nice foodstuffs. Why don't you send some food for Krishna Balram to eat and enjoy? So Brahmins just sent them back, sent the boys back. You know, yajna is still going on. And once we finish the yajna, we'll think of distribution of prasadam. So the boys came back. Krishna Balram then sent the boys again. He said, oh, now you go to the wives of those Brahmins and tell them Krishna Balram are here in the forest. They're very hungry. Get them some food. So the ladies, when they heard Krishna Balram have come and they are very hungry, so that although their husbands were busy making the yajna, performing the yajna, but they brought all the food, everything for the satisfaction of Krishna Balram and all the boys. So again, doing yajna is good, but knowing who's a real beneficiary of all the yajnas, if he is pleased, then our yajnas are complete. Then our yajnas have attained perfection. Then we get the result, real result of performance of yajna. So these ladies, the Brahman Patnis, they became very, very dear to Krishna because they performed the real yajna of satisfying Krishna. So we have to understand what's a perfection of yajna also, which is to please Krishna. So I'll stop here. It's 4:45. See anybody has any question or comment, because our theme ends here today.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Guruji, what is yajna sacrifice? Means we do sacrificial austerities in yajna. What are those? Agni, cow, and something.
Well, those are also yajna. Those are havan. They also yagya. Yagya means, in English it is mentioned sacrifice. So we sacrifice our time, we sacrifice our energy, we sacrifice our money. This yagya means to please Krishna for the pleasure of the Yagyapati or Krishna. So even if we do the yagya or the havan that we do, that is generally understood as yagya in India. So when we are doing that havan, we always keep one lota of brass with some leaves and a coconut on top. So actually that represents Vishnu. So without the presence of Vishnu, no yagya is complete. But for this, yeah, go ahead. You're saying something?
No.
Achha. For this day and age, the sacrifice that is mentioned, that is recommended, is chanting of the holy names. So we sacrifice our energy, we sacrifice our time, we sacrifice our money in propagating this, chanting the holy names.
Okay.
So Prabhupada gave this Sankirtan Yagya. Although Mahaprabhu gave chanting of the holy names as Sankirtan Yagya, but Prabhupada went further. He said, okay, distribute prasadam, that is also yagya. Distribute books, that's also yagya. So he called all that as Sankirtan Yagya.
Okay. Thank you, Prajit. Hare
You're
Krishna.
welcome. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
We are talking about the 32 crore demigods.
Can't hear you.
With the 33 crore demigods, sometimes we hear that it's symbolic, it is not exactly that. That's all not function. That's all nonsense and actually it is a demigod. So you are talking about some explanations given by other people. So what do they give? Generally, what do they give?
I'm sorry, Prabhu, I couldn't hear you properly.
Oh, sorry. We see some symbolic of the first people demigod. So what kind of explanation do you give? I heard that, but I'm not able to remember.
You try stopping the video and then you can speak in the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now you speak into the
now?
phone. Yes, now we can hear you.
If you explain that 30 crore demigods, they are only symbolic and actually not 30 crore demigods. Some kind of explanation that doing that. So what is the give for that number? 30 crore?
I'm still sorry. I couldn't make out. Did anybody else hear what he's saying? Abhishek Prabhu, can you hear it?
No, Prabhuji's voice is getting muffled again.
Yeah. Sorry, Prabhu. Maybe you can ask a question tomorrow when you're at home.
I'll come directly, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's better, I think.
That is better.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, much
Yes,
better.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the people who explain that 33 crore demigods, they are just symbolic, not exactly the 33 crore number. So what kind of explanation they give when explaining this term 33 crore demigods? I have heard it some time ago, but I don't remember it.
Okay, thank you. What they say is scriptures mention 33 koti, 33 koti. And actually koti means crore, but they say koti means categories. So 33 categories of demigods like Kinnar or Vidyadhar, Gandhar. So they like different categories. But this is not what exactly it is. It is 33 crore is the number that is mentioned. So they say, no, it's only 33.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
There's like Vasus, the 8 Vasus, so it's like Vasu is one category. But that's not, that they're just speculation.
Yeah, recently we had a class on the 11th chapter, and we were talking about the 8 Vasus, then the Adityas and all. So
Yes.
Subramaniam Prabhu was explaining like this, that it is not actually 33 crore demigods. So at that time, I just didn't strike me that, this is what our acharyas say, that actually it is 33 crore demigods controlling each and every function in the material universe.
Yeah,
So I
it's
didn't,
such a,
I didn't try to, but then now it's clear to me.
yeah, such a huge universe. So many departments are there. They have to take care of. In fact,
Yes, Prabhu.
if you know the story of Sanatan Goswami at Govardhan, where Chakleshwar Mahadev is there, Manasi Ganga is there.
Yeah.
So Sanatan Goswami was there, and he wanted to leave that place because so many mosquitoes were there. And Mahadev, Chakleshwar Mahadev, he said, no, I like the way you do bhajan. I'm sitting here listening to your bhajan. You don't leave. So then Shivji, Chakleshwar Mahadev, he called the demigod who was in charge of mosquitoes. It is mentioned. He called the demigod who was in charge of mosquitoes, and he told him, okay, keep the mosquitoes away from here. So if Mahadev says that mosquito demigod had to follow, so means there is a demigod to take care of mosquitoes also. So that's why 33 crore is there.
I think if we can please this mosquito demigod, we can make a lot of money.
Prabhuji, then you have to share the mantra.
Yeah, we have to go to people's house and say that now hereafter mosquito will not come to your house.
So then you have to know 33 crore mantras for take care of everything.
Mantra. I think, yeah.
But it's
these days people are,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was saying these days people are so scared about mosquitoes. They don't see mosquitoes as a small insect. They see it as, demon.
Yeah, they can create dengue and chikungunya and so kill them.
Yeah, that's what they say. These are demons. And these are like, messengers of death.
Yes, Abhishek Prabhu, you have something?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. In fact, every part of our body is controlled by one demigod or the other. Even this blinking of the eye is controlled by Maharaj Nimi. And he's in charge of that. That's why this blink of eye is called Nimesh. The time period to blink the eye is called Nimesh. It's controlled by Maharaj Nimi.
Okay. So Prabhuji, where we can find the description?
It's just different places you read different things. I haven't seen at one place. So different places you see different things.
But is there the 33 crore demigods listed somewhere? He is asking. No, somewhere in the Vedas.
It must be
somewhere in the Vedas.
It must be, but I don't know. From Prabhupada's books, you just pick up here and there stories from here or there. That's it.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mata, Mashmi Mata, Hare Krishna. How are you?
I'm good. Prabhuji, how are you?
Okay.
I have a small question.
Yes,
Since
Mata.
you have explained that yajna is not like havan, yeah?
Well, that is also yajna, but yajna in general means something else.
Okay, in the normally what we have understood so far is like yagya, we do, I mean, we perform in front of the fire, sacrificing.
Yes, yes.
So can we do the same for Lord Krishna?
See, for Kali Yuga, the yagya is different. The process is different. So Kali Yuga, the yagya is the chanting of the holy names.
Yes, we are chanting, so that is again a yagya, right?
Yeah.
So if we like the way other demigods were pleasing other demigods in front of sitting in a fire, I mean, just sacrifice some like camphor and some other samagris like ghee and all. So the same way we can also do it for Lord Krishna or not? That is just one small like doubt.
We do that for, at least for Vishnu we do, Lakshmi Narayan we do that yagya.
Okay. But not like chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have never done it before. That is what you said.
Oh, like doing the Agni and chanting
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yes, yes.
Oh, no, that Prabhupada never mentioned that. So
Okay, because this is, yeah, because this is something scientific. Because like when you offering ghee or camphor, it purifies the entire weather, like entire environment. So just doing so, yeah. So suppose in some.
What do you think chanting does?
Chanting also doing everything. I believe like it helps us from three majoras, as you have said, that Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika and Adhyatmika, from all the parts. Just like...
And it purifies the whole atmosphere.
You're talking about chanting?
Yeah. And it not only purifies the atmosphere, it purifies all the living entities who are hearing that holy name also. So
And
chanting
that's
is
how
very powerful.
Yes, we are chanting just like we are doing one separate, like just sitting in front of the. Can we do that or not? That is just a small doubt I have. I'm asking you.
Prabhupada never mentioned that, never recommended that.
Okay. All right then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome. Chalo, I think we should stop here. It's 5 o'clock. So everybody have a wonderful evening, doing some yagya. See you all tomorrow morning. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.